So here we are back at the shop, another day. So I painted these few pieces here. I think they, maybe except for that, are up to par. Obviously this is going to be the main case. Gonna mount this here. I have somewhere this part, which will then have this inside of it at some point, and then the vacuum tube will be mounted into here. That gaping hole is going to be for the switch. I've drilled that to an adequate width, and I have just a standard rocker switch that'll go in there. A lot of the switches I buy come with little screws that go in the terminals. This doesn't. Little annoying because it's nice to have the wire put on a fork terminal prong and then screwed into there. I guess I just might have to solder that. It doesn't look like that's threaded for anything anyway, so it'll go in there, that'll go there. Vacuum tube will sit up to about here. Just be kind of a nice little device. Flip on and off. And I'm thinking of maybe putting something here that'll also illuminate as well. But we'll see. There are going to be screws that go here. Well, there are screws that go there. I don't think the regular chrome color would look very nice. I think I might paint them with the same gold colored metallic paint that I painted this with, and just kind of get that looking kind of nice, you know. There is a little bit of damage on the surface there from working that hole, and I don't know how I feel about that. I might actually go ahead and take a sanding block and just kind of rough it up. It'll take off the luster of this, but it'll give it more of a dull black kind of surface, kind of a matte, texturized. We might have to just go with that since the surface damage is a little high. That was just, you know, I'm not a professional. I designed these things. I'm a creative person, and all this stuff comes in process, and you learn some things, you know, you lose some things in the process as well. So anyhow, that'll be the next step, and well, I'll take you with me when we get there. Catch you later. Howdy there, folks. All right, so I did a couple things here. This box, I painted just a little bit to get it touched up a bit. I kind of put a bit of a more matte finish on here, finished it up with, I gave it a brushed finish, and then I finished the paint job up with some matte finish. This is now affixed to here, and I'll then be mounting the tube this way. I made sure those holes are lined up just properly, and let me tell you something about, I don't know if you guys do this kind of stuff. I bought a round rocker switch. Okay, so this is the second one I bought, and you know, I live in a rural area if you haven't figured that out. And the shop that I got this switch at carries one in stock, and God knows how often they order these. Well, I messed up the last one. I actually soldered wire onto here, but this cheap piece of crap, as soon as that terminal got hot, it displaced, and something kind of happened with the other one, so I kind of tapped in there with a drill to see what the inside of the switch looks like, and there's just like, there's one little rocker arm that's attached to the actual rocker, that slides a little sheath back and forth. And I mean, it probably costs 8 cents to make this thing, and of course I paid almost $9 for it. So nice little switch though, but no soldering on these things. I guess maybe, I mean, it can handle 120 volts, which, so I kind of figured it's somewhat durable. But anyway, I'm going to use these spade connectors on the wires and then just slide these bastards on here. Hopefully it can at least withstand the force of being pushed in there. And we'll see how long, that lasts. So, so that's what I'm going to do on my next step here. Okay, little progress here. So I used some spade connectors on the switch, nice and tight, looks good. So this is clearly the positive that comes from our cell phone charger. Yes, I've already wired it through the hole, and I've already put the the buffer thing on there, securing nut. I've done the shot a few times. So positive into the switch, comes through to the positive, center lead on the vacuum tube. Obviously the negative then comes out of here, comes back onto here. So I'll crimp that bitch up and get her going. Okay, so some progress. The switch is now installed. Oh, so smooth. Very nice. I had to bend these prongs back a little bit because, I do things so perfectly in this. That thing is there, you know what it is. Am I even getting this in frame? So there we go. So anyway, so that goes there. Before I can connect these, I need to, I've drilled the holes. I need to then glue the tube to the mount, and then after that's glued, then these crimp connectors will be connected to the base of the tube, and then I have my gasket, which I don't really think is necessary, but I don't know, just the thought of having a nice smooth and soft connection just seems so luxurious to me. I don't know, we'll give it a shot and figure it out. So I was kind of debating on what kind of glue to use. Glue is not like a favorite thing unless I'm doing woodwork. But when it comes to this stuff, there's the E6000. That's pretty strong. It's not the strongest. When pressed, it has a little bit of wiggle in it. Not as strong as this high temp glue. So we'll give it a shot. If it's wobbly, I'll break the B off and try another glue. I really should not have painted the top of this, but I roughened it up with some sandpaper, and anyway, we'll see how that turns out. So, what is this vacuum tube? Where did it come from? Whose ship did it come off of? Okay, well, let me apologize because I did not talk about this in the beginning. This vacuum tube was a project I created years ago, several years ago, in fact. I wasn't even doing too many steampunk things. I just wanted to make something that looked interesting. And for those of you who are familiar with vacuum tube technology, can tell at a glance it's clearly not a vacuum tube. But I didn't know that at the time. It is a working circuit, evidently. The positive lead comes in up through the center shaft. You can see the resistors in there. As you know, each LED runs off of a different voltage when they're different colors, and I believe they are hooked up in series. The neutral or negative does run off the side down the side shaft there and connects to the side lead coming out the bottom. How about the tube? Not glass, plastic, pretty heavy duty plastic too. You can throw it against the wall, nothing would happen. This is actually a vial that came from purchase I made. I bought brewer's yeast. I had another side project going on a while back, and that was actually a vial. It's about 5 inches long. The black base, what looks like the base of a vacuum tube, is actually a cap about the size of the kind of cap you'd see on a 2-liter bottle, and that actually does come off, which actually I should do, because you can see a couple of components in there a little crooked. It's been banged around driving from state to state through my moves, and I can probably touch it up a bit, but it's pretty sturdy, very simple circuit. If you know anything about electronics, easy to do. I just added a bunch of stuff on there to make it look a little elaborated. So anyhow, nothing special, just a piece of industrial art. So there you go. Okie dokie. So the thing works. Just, I recommend each step of the way to just, test your wiring and connections first, because things change as you move them around unless you do good wiring. I don't. I mean, so here's it. So just, it works. So I don't know if you could see that. It's much brighter in dimmer rooms, but there's a green LED there and a pretty bright red one up there. So anyhow, so far so good. I just got to touch up a little bit. I had to put a little extra glue on the mount, and got some glue strands around. Tighten this B up and then call it a day. How's that sound? Okay, so there we go. It's finished. Not exactly how I wanted it to come out, but close enough. Gets the point across. So, still a little bright in here. A little bit more. Maybe that gives some of the effect. Anyhow, you get the idea. So, a little about this. I painted the screw heads with gold paint so that prior to inserting them, so it turns out well. So it looks like brass. Brass is obviously a common function in vintage electronics. I also went ahead and I put some green felt feet on the tabs here, just so that whatever it's sitting on is not scratching the surface. So anyhow, there you go. I hope you like it. Just a little freaking doodad. And, well, thanks for watching.